The Supreme Court has declared two portions of the controversial anti-terrorism law as unconstitutional. Petitioners welcome the initial decision but hopes other provisions will still be addressed. The Commission on Elections has postponed tomorrow's raffle determining the listing order of party lists in the 2022 ballots. The poll body says this is to give time to party list groups with pending appeals on their disqualification. Some candidates, meanwhile, are tapping COMELEC regarding individuals allegedly offering poll tampering services. The poll body assures the public that election results cannot be tampered with. And in lighter news, the Pantone Color Institute has picked Periwinkle as Color of the Year for 2022. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Jess De Los Santos. The Bongbong Sara tandem has endorsed another senatorial bet into their lineup. The so-called Uniteam visited Cavite province today. We have Dale De Vera there reporting live. Dale, who's this latest addition to the Marcos Duterte slate?
Just the Bongbong Sara tandem endorsed former DPWH Secretary Mark Villar for a Senate seat next year. The Bongbong Sara Uniteam held motorcades and met with supporters in various parts of the province. Note that Cavite, which is the country's second most vote-rich province, is also the bailiwick of Lakas CMD co-chairman Bong Revilla. Here we saw senatorial aspirant Mark Villar joining the Bongbong Sara tandem for the first time. In a sortie in Bacoor City, it was announced that Villar will join their senatorial slate. Villar, however, has yet to confirm if he will accept the tandem's endorsement for the 2022 elections. Let's recall that Villar was also part of the senatorial lineup backed by PDP Laban and endorsed by President Duterte. The Nationalista Party, headed by his mother, Senator Cynthia Villar, on the other hand, has not yet endorsed the Bongbong Sara tandem. Both Marcos and Villar, meanwhile, vowed to continue President Duterte's Build, Build, Build program. So far, the tandem has three candidates in their Senate slate. That's Villar, former PALA spokesperson Harry Roque, and former Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Just after today's events in Cavite, Bongbong and Sara will visit Laguna tomorrow to go around the province. Also, presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos said that he will announce his senatorial slate, his full senatorial slate, in the coming days. Jess?
All right, thank you very much for those updates. Dale De Vera reporting live from Cavite. Now, here are other election-related stories we're watching. COMELEC postpones the raffle determining the ballot listing order among party list groups to December 14. This is to give way for groups with pending incidents to secure a status quo ante order from the Supreme Court. So far, there are 166 party list groups that are already allowed to join the raffle. Presidential aspirant and Senator Manny Pacquiao vows to support charter change if he wins next year's polls. Pacquiao said that he will push for a shift to federal system to strengthen local autonomy and to eradicate corruption in government. He also believes that federalism will fast-track development in the countryside. The Commission on Elections is warning politicians against scammers who are offering to alter election results in exchange for money. Greg Gregorio with the story.
Some politicians are turning to COMELEC to complain about people claiming to be capable of tampering the election results. They were offered a supposed guaranteed victory in exchange for huge sums of money. COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez says this kind of scam has been around since the 2010 automated elections.
Lahat ng kumakandidato to offer the same deal. That way, whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, gets a refund. Right? So parang akala mo talaga may nagawa or may nangyari, pero walang nangyari.
Presidential aspirant and Manila Mayor Isko Moreno admits that he was offered such a deal. He warns his fellow candidates.
Huwag kayo maniniwala doon. Every election, naririnig yan ng mga kandidato. We must continue to believe in our system. The system may not be perfect, but it's there. It's functioning.
Comelec has time and again said that the tampering of election results is impossible. The source codes, which are now kept at a vote in Comelec, will also be escrowed at the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas.
This is a very important security and transparency measure. Now, the source code and the codes held by the IBD both are accompanied by unique hash codes. These are independently verifiable hash codes which will be published in the Comelec website, and it will allow people to check for themselves.
But election watchdog Contra Daya isn't sold.
Sometimes cheating may be done not by individual counting, but after a certain frequency count. In programming, anything is possible, and if you're creative enough,
Contra Daya wants an open source code review where anyone may scrutinize the codes, but Arrow notes that reviewers must only be allowed to read, download, and execute access so as not to compromise the security of the polls. The Comelec previously mentioned that the installable software may only be altered if a major problem occurs during the field test, the mock elections, or when local source code reviewers detect other critical issues. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The Supreme Court has declared two parts of the controversial anti-terror law as unconstitutional. Voting 12-3, the justices voided a portion of Section 4, which adds a controversial caveat to exempted acts of protest and dissent. The Supreme Court advisory said the particular phrase was overboard and violative of freedom of expression. Voting 9-6, the High Tribunal also deemed unconstitutional the second method of designation under Section 25, wherein requests for designation by other jurisdictions may be adopted by the Anti-Terror Council. This means that the Council cannot adopt designations from foreign countries, but it may still designate organizations and persons as terrorists. The Supreme Court has advised the public to await the publication of its decision for the complete explanation of the votes. A petitioner against the anti-terror law warns that the controversial statute could bring a chilling effect once it is set in motion. In an interview with 1PH's Sa Totoo Lang, senatorial aspirant Nery Colmenares said it may discourage and intimidate the public from holding protests. Colmenares adds that some provisions of the law are vague.
Yun ang main argument namin sa Section 4. It has a chilling effect because it's so broad, it's so vague na you don't know kung pasok ka o hindi. So you begin to second guess.
Another petitioner, attorney Ted Te, questions the third item in the Supreme Court advisory, which says that all other challenge provisions of the anti-terror law are not unconstitutional. Te noted that no vote was indicated in this item compared to the first two decisions released. Nevertheless, Te welcomes the decision to declare a portion of Section 4 unconstitutional. Section 4 lists down the acts considered as terrorism. The Free Legal Assistance Group, or FLAG, also considers this an important win. FLAG said this affirms the inherent danger posed to civil liberties by the language used in the provision. The Agricultural Department sees a reasonable increase in the prices of agriculture commodities. Shaila Francisco with the rest of the story.
Jackie loves eating pinakbet, but after seeing the prices of some lowland vegetables at Mega Q-Mart, she decided to go for something else.
Tingin lang po muna. Kasi inaano ko yung budget ko. Baka hindi magkasya.
Prices of sitaw, okra, eggplant, and ampalaya more than doubled from last week as the end of the harvest season neared.
Halos tapos na yung anihan. Yung iba, nagtatanim pa lang. Pagpasok ng February, March is okay uli yung supply galing sa Calabarzon ng lowland.
During an inspection, agriculture officials found out that prices of other products also increased. Galunggong, tilapia, and bangus are up by as much as 20 pesos due to fewer catch and the closing of the fishing season. Meanwhile, the higher production costs of chicken and hogs affected prices of eggs. Chicken prices also increased by up to 15 pesos.
Hindi kami magpapatong ng 10, ganon. Kami malulugi dito. Higit namin, wala po kaming pambayad. May mga tao pa kami. Kahit paano lang po, pinapatos namin.
Pork retailers, on the other hand, opted to lower the prices of fresh meat to increase revenue amid slow sales. But the frozen ones increased by up to 20 pesos.
Considering bumaba ang presyo ng crudo din natin. So yung logistics part, yung transportation, dapat meron tayong nararamdaman na pagbaba ng presyo.
Retailers say prices are generally high due to higher demand during the holidays. That's why consumer groups are urging the DA to impose a suggested retail price at least for the duration of the season.
Kung may nagsasamantala, mahuhuli mo yan kung meron kang SRP in place. Dahil ang SRP mo naman hindi mo na isiset na malulugi ang negosyante. Dapat din kumita din sila.
But the DA says the current price increases are reasonable at least based on their inspection.
Dapat consistent pa rin yung sinusundan natin na cost structure. Sabi siguro nila ito na yung panahon para makabawi ng konti sa kanilang mga ikinalugi. Pero they still have to adhere.
The agency will also inspect bagsakan markets and production areas to investigate instances of profiteering. Shaila Francisco, we are One News.
Here's a quick look at today's other top stories. Metro Manila police will be using yantok or rattan yardsticks to ensure physical distancing during Simbang Gabi. The NCRPO says it will be used mainly to measure proper distancing and as a disciplinary tool at the last resort. Filipino Catholics are expected to flock to churches for Simbang Gabi starting December 16. Malacanang has condemned the killing of Manila Standard correspondent Jess Malabanan. The veteran journalist was shot at close range inside his store in Calbayog City on Wednesday evening. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security is now working with the National Police to investigate the incident. And Pantone has unveiled Very Perry as the color of 2022. The Pantone Color Institute says that periwinkle symbolizes the global transition that's currently happening. For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Jess De Los Santos. We are One News.